Hey everyone, welcome back to the corner. Sorry that we missed last week's chapter. I was kind of bogged down with work and I had a little bit of a bigger project that I'm working on, so I didn't get around to doing last week's chapter. But the project I'm working on is in regards to Jujutsu Kaisen and the Shibuya arc, so keep your eyes peeled for that because it's going to be huge. But we're back now with chapter 139, and we kind of ended off at a cool point last time where we got to see some new characters that we haven't really been introduced ever to in the series. We have these three great sorcerer houses being Kamo, Gojo, and Zenin, but we haven't really seen much of the other sorcerers from these houses that kind of earned them that renown of being one of the great three houses. So it was kind of cool to see a little bit more into the house Zenin, as that one seems to have, most of the sorcerers. The other ones, all we really know is Gojo and Noritoshi Kamo, Inumaki. He's not one of the great houses, but those are really the only ones we know from those other houses, whereas Zenin, we have quite a few. We have Mei, we have Maki, Toji, Megumi, but then we get introduced to Nabito, Noya, Oji, Jinchi, so we have, 8 sorcerers that we know from Zenin. So it's finally cool to see some of these people, not really in action yet, but at least kind of see, to what extent they are kind of renowned. So hopefully in this new chapter, we can kind of see maybe some action or see what their plans are, because it seems like Noya is kind of upset with Megumi getting the crown, so to speak, getting the go-ahead to be the head of the Zenin household. So chapter 139 starts with Yuji in a desolate kind of post-Shibuya arc, destroyed city of Tokyo, where he doesn't really know what to do, it seems like, at this point. He doesn't know where everybody is. Gojo's still gone, and technically there's a headhunt out for him. So he just resorts to doing what he knows best, exercising curses, where he's just sitting in the middle of this empty city, rounding up as many curses as he can, trying to get them to follow him into this tunnel where he can kind of compile them in a row, where Choso, big bro Choso, can use piercing blood to pierce through all of them in one go. Now, I think this is kind of cool because it goes to show to what extent this imprinting technique that Yuji has can go. Choso is now completely on his side, completely allied to him, as far to say that he will continue calling him his brother no matter what, repeatedly, even if it annoys the reader. We get to see also to what extent Yuji has kind of progressed through the Shibuya arc and all these fights he's had. Because, this series, it shows natural skill and innate curse technique as one half of the sorcerer, but then the other half is kind of experience and, actually in battle tendencies that you kind of learn as you go. And Yuji went through a lot of this. Between the grasshopper, between fighting Choso, between Mahito, and ultimately Geto at the end. He's had a lot of experiences that have really helped him progress and, refine his curse technique. He used to kind of just be brute strength and, not really willingly controlling his curse technique or cursed energy and that extent kind of finesse, if you will. But when he exercises this demon in front of Choso, he calls him a demon god, saying that he's now, added this finesse and full control over his cursed energy and cursed technique, comparing it and, addition to his unmatched and unrivaled physical strength that he's always had. And all this while he's not still fully recovered, So it's kind of cool to see how he's evolved throughout this fight. He's kind of gone from Charmander to Charmeleon at this point, so it's kind of cool. And we finally get to see Noya coming in, looking for Megumi. He's trying to, end this before Megumi can really take the crown, If he's gone, then obviously Noya is going to take over. So it's kind of like a succession war arc, if you will, for all my Hunter x Hunter fans out there. And this part, we see a kind of a little bit of a side note there in the panel where we see Gojo's flexibility has saved numerous and many sorcerers. Gojo's always been this kind of balance in the Jujutsu Kaisen Kaisen world, but typically I always thought of that as kind of keeping bad curse users and bad sorcerers on the down low and kind of keeping check over special grade curses that are arising, you know, not really letting them kind of build up a force, so to speak. But seeing it from this perspective as well is interesting to see kind of how he can actually keep a balance in the Jujutsu sorcerer world as well, whereas he can kind of keep sorcerers alive like Yuji or Yuta, where other sorcerer houses or the higher ups at Jujutsu High may want to just put them down to prevent anything from really arising. Gojo kind of has some sway, some political sway there with his power and his expertise, where he can kind of, you know, say, I'll keep Yuji under my wing, I'll keep Yuta under my wing, and watch them, you know, let them grow and teach them how to control this. So it's kind of cool to see there how now that he's gone, it's kind of like a free-for-all. Like, you can go kill Yuji if you want. You can go kill Megumi if you want. Like, now these other sorcerers that are like special grade, but like kind of still under Gojo, when he's gone, there's nobody above them to kind of keep him in check now, which is kind of cool. So we see Noya saying that he wants to kill Megumi. He wants the crown for himself. He's been looking for Megumi, and he doesn't necessarily care if Yuji lives or dies, but he can't have him running around causing a mess and throwing foil into his plans. So he decides to at least incapacitate Yuji to kind of prevent him as he searches for Megumi. But he didn't realize that Yuji was going to be with Choso, his big bro Choso. So now he's like kind of had this ripple, the stone that's hitting the water and rippled there, kind of causing a little bit of a mess in his plans. It's kind of cool to see Noya fight because it seems like he has inherited some of Nabito, his father's skills, where he has this super quick kind of curse energy that he uses. It almost seems like the curse technique makes him quick. And that's something that we haven't really seen yet. I mean, we've seen fast characters, like Nabito was really fast, but his curse technique was, you know, that frame, you can capture images and whatnot, but you can't really change the trajectory. But he was still super fast. Whereas we haven't seen somebody that I can recall anyway, whose curse technique is primarily speed. I mean, Gojo is super quick as well, but Nabito seems like maybe his main thing is speed. I mean, he's already shocking them with how quick he is, and he's saying he's going to up his speed a little bit. I mean, that's kind of cool. I don't know if he sacrifices strength to do that, to kind of just be ahead of the game, like a Flash, so to speak, where you can kind of counteract and use people's speed and power against them, so to speak. Maybe he lacks a little bit of strength himself from doing that, but he kind of didn't expect Yuji to be as strong as he was. I mean, he thought he could probably go in and just break his legs like he was going to in one fell swoop, but, you know, with Choso added and Yuji being a little bit stronger than he had been before. And this last frame was really cool when I first read it, because you see not only Yuji and Choso having such like an alert, kind of like spidey sense tingling, if you will, you also see Nabito get a little shocked there and kind of some astonishment on his face as like this unrivaled kind of curse energy ripples through like in a bleach effect of just this pressure from their power coming through. So strong that Yuji thinks it's Gojo level. He says, Gojo Sensei, boy? Gojo Sensei, is that you? Did you escape somehow without us knowing? And he realizes quickly that no, this has a little bit more of a sinister, little more of a creepy vibe to it, as you will. And then they look up, realizing how far he is away, and they're still feeling this kind of pressure, is Yuta. Somebody who I don't think Yuji really knows how to deal with. He hasn't really met him yet. He says, no, you're not alone. And now this is going to be interesting for the next chapter, because Yuta kind of at this point has decided to kill the vessel, kill Sukuna's vessel, as Inumaki Sampa has lost his arm due to Sukuna. So I don't know what's going to happen next. Is Nabito going to fight Yuta? Because he's kind of there causing a ruckus. Is it going to be kind of like a free-for-all? I don't know, is Megumi going to come in and that could add another ripple to the already pretty disrupt pond at this point? It was pretty cool though. I mean, we didn't have a lot of action in this chapter, but I think it's kind of building up into what the next arc is going to be. It doesn't really look like they're going to take some downtime here, as the next chapter again is in 7 days. So I'm excited to see what happens next. I think Yuta is going to definitely want to just quickly try to take care of Yuji. Maybe he'll be able to imprint his brotherness into Yuta, have him kind of join the Sims. I don't know if I see that happening with Yuta's innate, just immeasurable amount of cursed energy. I think that might be a little hard to deal with. Hopefully he doesn't make Sukuna come out, because as Yuji isn't fully healed yet, he may not have 100% grasp on the body, controlling the body and suppressing Sukuna that well. But this is a fun chapter, guys. I hope you liked my kind of explanation of it. I'm interested to see what you guys think is going to happen in this next chapter, as we've kind of set up to put us in a little bit of a battle royale here. I think there may be a couple players that might enter soon. Maybe the principal, that would be pretty cool. I still want to see Kusakabe. I haven't really gotten to see him fight yet. But I don't really know where a lot of the other sorcerers are right now. I know Megumi's kind of looking for Yuji, it seems like, but he's also being searched for. So we'll see what happens, guys. Stay tuned for my Shibuya timeline recap of the Shibuya arc, coming hopefully this week. This one's taking me a lot of time, but still then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay tuned. Love you.